please welcome to the stage, Oz!
I was trying to put my life back together. I was 33 years old, living on a couch, had a job I hated. Nothing was going right. I was a veteran, and I kept hearing about how much we love our veterans, but how about a better job? Thanks for being a veteran, that's great, but I needed to get off this couch. But the one thing that was going right was a whole lot of good, hot sex. Yeah. But how did we get here? See, I was in Boston in grad school, and I was getting ready to wrap things up. Things were over, and I was going to have to move out and go somewhere, and I'm trying to find a job in New York because that's where I wanted to be, and nothing was happening. And so I'm having a conversation with my friend over the phone, Sophia. She's back home in Chicago, and she says, well, if you do need it, I've got a couch. If you want to come back to Chicago, 2-bedroom place. I'm hardly ever here because I'm seeing somebody, but you're welcome if you need it. And yeah, I needed the couch. I had to come back to Chicago, stay on this couch, and as I'm settling in, I find out she's not seeing this guy anymore. Say, oh, he is another guy that's run by his dick. Just like my ex-husband, run by his dick. And you guys are so simple, run by your dicks. But that shit hurt to hear. It felt like, Oz, you about to starve to death or you can get some pussy? Oh, I'll take the pussy and starve to death. No. No, it hurt to hear that. But we were longtime friends. We met as undergrads. We were both older students. At this time, I'm 33 and she's 39 at this point. And I'm focused. I'm living on this couch, and I got to go back to being an adult, paying my own bills in my own place. And I'm on this couch. So every day, I'll go downtown Chicago, and I'm lowering my standards. And finally, I accept a job at a cigar shop. It was money, and it was a path off of that couch and back into adulthood. And one day, Sophia and I, now she's this strawberry blonde, and she used to be a paramedic, and she had this spiel about how she was strong and independent. She could drive the ambulance, and she could lift patients and move equipment and everything. She could work alongside the men, and she was proud of that, all 5 foot tall of her. But it was a back injury that stopped her from being a paramedic. And so she went back to college to get a master's degree and start a whole new career. And yeah, she was powerful and inspiring. And one day we're sitting watching TV, and she liked these medical shows, and I hated them. Partly because she sits and says, oh, and I bet you it's the meniscus flippity flam doohickey thing. And then after the commercial, yeah, it's the meniscus flippity flam doohickey thing. Okay, and she's proud of herself, yeah. And I'm like, golly, I hate these shows. And then she keeps talking. But there was one show that she had already seen, and we're sitting there. Hey, she asked, you want to kiss a little bit? Now, I immediately thought, I liked that. I felt desired. I appreciated that she spoke up and said something. She didn't wait for me to be the man and figure out some cue. She just whooped it out there and made the request. And that made it even hotter. And I said, okay. And I got up and sat down on the couch next to her, on that couch where I live. And we made out, and it was nice. And a couple nights later, I closed the cigar shop, and I ride the subway back to the apartment, and I come home. She is on the couch in a sheer negligee, peach-colored, with white fur around the collar and down the front, around the waist, and yeah, it's only right going right here. She don't have no panties on. And that's when I realized, no, she's not a strawberry blonde, she's a natural blonde. Yeah. And I took my jacket off and I took everything else off and landed my face right down in that natural blonde pussy. And it tasted good. Yeah. And that started this long streak of hot sex. And that's how I also learned while I was living there that she dyed her hair strawberry blonde because this proud woman in her said, I am not going to go out in the world and give them the pleasure of seeing me as a bimbo just because my hair is blonde. So that's why I dye it brown and red, and, so that she can be taken seriously. But yeah, we had sex that night, and afterward I'm laying there, and she scoops up that negligee and goes into a bedroom, and I'm wondering, am I supposed to go with her? Is she gonna call me in there? But she goes in and closes the door. Yeah, this is great. I don't have to lay next to somebody till my arm goes asleep. or try to cuddle, and then I want to get comfortable and I roll off. Now I feel like an asshole. No, I'm out here on the couch where I live by myself. Yeah. Ooh. And all this sex that we had, several times a day sometimes, and it was this unspoken thing. I slept on the couch, she slept in her bedroom. We have sex in her bedroom, I scoop my clothes up and go sleep on the couch. We have sex in the home office, she goes to the bedroom, I go to the couch. It was great. And we were both enjoying this. And then sometimes she might call and say, I'm nearby where you work, and I figure if you're getting off soon, I'll pick you up and give you a ride home. So yeah, I'm getting off in about a half hour. Yeah, it'd be great if you could come pick me up. But what you doing over this way? Oh, I just got my nails done, and these red nails look hot wrapped around the dick. And I get home and I get to confirm that. And she was right. Yeah. And one afternoon, I'm getting ready to go to work, and she's kind of hovering. I'm in the living room and she's in the dark dining room. And I go in the kitchen and she's in the hallway. And I'm just focused on getting out, but I just noticed her presence. And when I put on my backpack and I walk toward the door, she gets between me and the door. And she just rubs my chest. She doesn't make eye contact. And she says, "You can be late. I want to make love." And I thought, oh, here's the trap. Oz gets to prove that he's another man run by his dick. No. And I said, no, you're not going to catch me. I'm not run by my dick. I'm going to work. And I did this kind of sweet, slick move and got out past her and out the door, closed the door behind me. I said, ah! I'm above all men now. All of you. Every goddamn last one of you. But I'm not run by my dick. No, sir. And when I get home, she's gonna put a crown on me and a cape and fuck the hell out of me because I've proven myself. And I would deserve it. And the next time I saw her, she was all red-faced and her eyes are glassy. It was the next morning, and I, what's going on? What's going on? And these tears just start coming down, and a snot, and she just started this ugly, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate what? I hate it, I hate it. I try to be so independent, and I feel like Betty Crocker, and I want to pick you up from work, and I want to have dinner for you, and I want to make love, and I hate it. This Betty Crocker keeps, I hate it. And she goes out the back of the apartment in the Logan Square neighborhood in Chicago, and this blue, cloudless sky is just reverberating with, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And I sit down on the couch where I live, put my head in my hands and wonder, how the hell did we get here? This sex, I know sex always messes stuff up. Then I thought, no, it wasn't the sex. It wasn't the sex. The sex was fine. I started to realize she made a request of me. And we were these two people trying to not be cartoons. I was trying to not be the cartoon man run by his dick. She's trying to not be some cartoon Betty Crocker, and we both fighting these things. And she makes this request, and I read it as a trap, and then I turn it into a slapstick comedy. She may as well have said, you can be late. I want to make love. And then I've got a carnation that just spurts water out in the face. I finally got that I had some choices there. I thought, how could I have handled this different? There's yes, no, negotiate. How about when I get back from work? How about I've got 15 minutes, but you got to drive me to work? There's lots in there. And so after she got over the 2-day crying jag, she was done with me. It took me another few weeks to get out off of the couch and go into my own apartment. And I tried to patch up the relationship, but she was done. And I still miss her. But I just think the lesson I learned there was about vulnerability. There's yes, no, negotiate, or even pretend you didn't hear it, right? I could pretend I didn't hear it. That is even better than the one option that I no longer have, is making cartoon mockery in the face of somebody's genuine vulnerability.